Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mixed Level Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. Find a comfortable seat of your choice. I'd like to share a short read from Meditations from the Mat again, continuing with yesterday's theme. The word yoga signifies the means to realization of one's true nature. That's by Yoga Master Sri K. Patabi Joyce. The Yoga Sutras are a map to the self. Within the Yoga Sutras, we discover both the problem and the solution. The four aims of life are the arenas in which we enact our return to the self. The 8 limbs of yoga are the day-to-day choices and actions that we can take within those arenas to connect to the self. See and understand the Purusartha, which is Sanskrit for the object of human pursuit, and the 8 limbs as 2, but practice them as 1. Yesterday, we delved into those paradoxical notions. Carry a sense of the big picture into your day-to-day actions and maintain a sense of the particulars in your vision of the whole. For example, nonviolence, which is in the first limb of yoga, is an aspect of the 8 limbs. It is a particular. Where do we practice nonviolence? We enact it in our dharma, our relation to ourselves. We enact it in our artha, in our relationships with others. We enact it in our kama, our attitude. And we enact it in our moksha, our relationship to the universe. As you recall yesterday, we did moksha as freedom, liberation, specifically through non-attachment. So how do we practice artha? The practice of abundant living. We apply the 8 limbs of yoga to our daily affairs. Every moment becomes yoga, not just downward facing dog, shavasana, or any other pose. Every moment becomes a step on the path back to our true nature. So as you sit tall, resting your hands on your lap, perhaps close your eyes and feel into what's present in your body. Your breathing and what your mind is attending to at this moment. As we sort of say, peel the layers to get down to the core, which was that pure goodness within, unconditional love, defined as our true nature. Every being on this planet what quality would you like to bring forth through your practice today? Perhaps setting an intention. As you feel connection to what you're sitting on through your pelvis on both sides, bring your mind's eye to the base of your spine. Taking a deeper inhale, bring your gaze up your spine slowly to the crown of your head, there holding the breath in and relaxing the body. Then as you exhale to your mouth, visualize from the crown of your head down your spine, down to the base where you hold the breath out. Again, inhale up your spine, hover at fullness at the top of your head. Exhale down your spine. Pause at the emptiness at your tailbone. Continue this inward gaze, the in-breath up and the out-breath down, tracing your spine. There is a meditation in yoga that's with a chant, so hum, Sanskrit for I am all that. And all that refers to us being a part of all that's in existence, acknowledging our interconnection and our true nature as pure awareness. So you might choose your own words or simply that chant as you inhale up the spine to yourself, chanting so, I am. And as you exhale down your spine, chanting hum, all that, or pure awareness. Notice how your body is spacious, upright, grounded. Yet it's also relaxed, soft, comfortable. And now as you close your lips, continuing to breathe sustained and evenly through your nose, softly constrict the back of your throat, inviting a gentle whisper. Listen to the smooth transitions of in and out breaths. And just as we nurture ease and flow in our breathing here, let's nurture those qualities as we begin to move the body too, bringing those qualities into our physical being. So gently blink your eyes open, and let's come to stand at the very top of your mats. Setting your feet apart, hips distance. Spread your toes, lift them off the ground to activate energy in your legs. The fronts of your thighs, lifting your kneecaps slightly. And then spread your toes on the ground, shifting your weight forward and back until you can evenly distribute your weight throughout the four corners of each foot. Feel your pelvis, two hips right above two ankles. Slight lift in the frontal hip bones as the belly is awake, not lax. And as you turn your palms to face forward, just relaxing your arms down by your sides, feel your shoulders, the left and right, stacking over left and right hips. Gliding your chin like a drawer closing softly towards the back of your throat. Lengthen up through the back of your skull, lifting to your crown. Feel the energies rooting down through the four corners of each foot and rising up through the crown of your head. Just like the rise and fall of your breath, even. Beginning half sun salutations. Inhale, sweep your arms up, gazing as your palms meet, shoulders relax. Exhale, hinge forward, in which you might bend your knees the first few or the whole thing so that you can elongate your spine. Press your fingertips on the ground or your legs, and inhale, lengthen your spine parallel to the floor, sliding your shoulders back. Keep your weight towards the balls of your feet and exhale to fold again. Firming down through your feet, inhale, sweep your arms overhead, gaze as your palms touch, shoulders relax. Then exhale, trace your thumbs down the center line of your body, arms by your sides. Let's try two more. Ardha Surya Namaskar. Inhale into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale into Uttanasana. Inhale into Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale again, Uttanasana. Rooting down, inhale, rise to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, back to mountain pose or Tadasana. Last one, breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, lift the heart, broaden the chest. Exhale, bow. With strong legs and belly, inhale, rise, gazing up. Exhale, back to mountain pose. Adding on into sun salutation C. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, rise halfway, but lower your fingertips outside of your heels, perhaps on blocks, and step your left knee back, untuck the toes. Firming your right foot down, inhale, sweep your arms up in a kneeling lunge, Anjaneyasana. Backstroke your hands flat into the floor and exhale from plank, perhaps knees on the ground to start, through Chaturanga. Glide forward and down. Inhale, ground the tops of your feet and coil your chest lightly up into baby cobra pose. Exhale, press the ground through hands and knees. Tuck your toes and lift your hips back. Downward facing dog, take a full cycle of breath. Then inhale, raise your left leg behind you. As you exhale, activate your belly by rounding forward, stepping the left foot inside of your left hand. Lower the right knee, untuck the toes. Then inhale, sweep your arms to rise in Anjaneyasana. Exhale, backstroke your fingertips to the ground ahead and step the right foot forward to fold. Inhale, root down to rise all the way up. Exhale, back to mountain pose, side two. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Lower your fingertips. Exhale, right knee steps back. Root down to rise as you breathe in. Backstroke your hands into plank, exhaling as you glide forward and lower all the way. Breathing into Cobra or Bhujangasana. Exhale into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Holding still for one cycle of breath. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, contract your belly to step it forward, left knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms, gazing up. Backstroke your hands to the front of your mat and exhale, step forward to fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms meet towards the sky. Exhale, back to mountain pose, starting sun, salutation A. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Either step into plank to lower or float into Chaturanga Dandasana. Choosing Cobra or upward facing dog, breathe in to lift your chest. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. And this time let's hold still for about 5 breaths. Sharpening our mental focus by also steadying the gaze on one spot, like the ground halfway towards your feet. Then preparing to land at the top of your mat, bend your knees, lift your hips high, and look past where you want to land your feet. After you've exhaled, hold your breath out and lift your pelvic floor while walking or lightly jumping to the top. Then inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise all the way. Exhale, back to mountain pose. So let's grab 2 blocks, if you might like to use them for triangle pose, and come to stand at the center of your mat, facing the wide width. Open your arms wide. I'll mirror you here. Step or jump your feet so that your ankles land pretty much right under your wrists, a wide stance. Place your blocks on their tallest height behind your calves. Then from your hips, rotate your thighs and pivot both feet to see that your left foot becomes your front leg. Align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Then as you hold your 2 frontal hip bones balanced in height, bend your left knee to stack just on top of your left heel, wrapping your left sitting bone underneath your body to align the center of your left knee with your center left toe down the center line of your mat. Top of the right thigh bone firms towards the back wide width of your mat. And then as you reopen your arms, feel the length of your spine, relaxing your shoulders down. Steady your gaze ahead on one spot, just past your left hand. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2 breaths here in Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. And as you firm down through both feet, straighten your left leg, and perhaps you shorten your stance 2 or 3 inches, preparing for triangle pose. Engage the front muscles of your thighs and glide your pelvis sideways towards your rear leg, reaching your left hand forward horizontally before lowering it onto your left leg, or just to the left outside of it, perhaps on a block, where arm and leg could firm against each other. See that your left knee, middle toe, are still tracing the midline of your mat. That hasn't changed. Your left sitting bone is still wrapping under your body. But what has changed, one of the things, is that you're pressing the crease of your left hip towards your rear leg, towards the heel of it, while lengthening the crown of your head in the opposite direction as you raise your right arm up. Feel your front ribs hugging in towards your back body, broadening across your arms, chest, and upper back, while sliding your shoulder blades down your back. Now, those of you that asked for some core rigor, micro bend your left knee, wrap your right tricep forward and reach both arms overhead parallel to each other. Let's take 5 more breaths. Inhale, exhale 5, inhale, exhale 4. Breathe in, turning your heart towards the sky. Exhale 3, inhale, exhale 2. One more deep breath, soften the face. And exhale, root down through your feet. Inhale to rise up. So come back to paralleling your feet to face the wide width of your mat. And before we enter side 2, bring your hands behind your back to interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders behind you and inhale, lift your chest, look up. Then exhale, hinge forward into Prasarita Padottanasana, forward fold. About 5 breaths here, you're reaching your arms forward away from your lower back. Slightly bend your elbows to help lift your shoulders up away from your neck. Allow your weight to shift slightly more in to the balls of your feet than your heels, so that your ankles can align with your hips. Bending your knees, lead with your chest and firm your belly. Inhale, slowly lift your spine. And then reopen your arms, set your ankles pretty much right under your wrists. And from your hips, rotate your legs to pivot your feet to face your right foot. Aligning your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Bend your right knee just over the ankle, wrapping your right sitting bone under your body to align the center of your right knee, middle toe, and midline of your mat. As the left leg slightly turns in, firm the top of that thigh towards the wide width of your mat behind you. Reopening your arms, relax your shoulders down, and feel the full length of your spine. Steady your gaze just beyond your right hand in one spot as you steady your body and your awareness. Then straightening your legs, you might shorten your stance 2 or 3 inches to prepare for triangle. Firm the front muscles of your thighs and glide your pelvis sideways towards your rear leg, reaching your right hand horizontally forward before tilting it down. Whether to land on your leg or just to the right of it, maybe using a block, in which you could firm your arm and leg against each other for added stability. Notice that your right knee and middle toe still trace the midline of your mat. There's no locking of the knee. And you're pressing the crease of your right hip towards your rear leg, the heel of it, while spinning your chest slightly to face the sky. Now, if you opted for that extra core engagement, reach your left arm overhead with a tricep rolling down. Micro bend your right knee so as not to lock it, and raise the right arm parallel to the left. Breathe in. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 1. From down through both feet, and inhale to rise up. So let's take the blocks with us. Come back to the top of your mat to enter 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar B, Sun Salutation B. Moving into a continuous flow, bring your feet together to touch. As you take a deep inhale, bend your knees together and sit back towards your heels in chair pose. Then exhale, hinge forward to fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Step to plank or lightly jump to chaturanga as you breathe out to lower. Inhale into cobra or upward facing. Exhale to downward facing. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale the foot inside of your right hand, feet hips width, drop the back heel. Face forward and inhale, rise up into warrior 1. Then exhale, lower from plank through chaturanga into your vinyasa. Keep going. When you arrive in downward dog, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale the foot inside of your left hand, feet hips distance, back heel down. Inhale, face forward to rise, warrior 1. Exhale, lower through plank and chaturanga. Inhale into cobra or upward. Back to downward dog. Let's hold still for 3 to 5 breaths. And when you're ready, bend your knees, look ahead. On empty breath, lift your pelvic floor and walk or float to the top. With feet touching, inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. With knees touching, inhale, sit back into chair. Exhale to rise, mountain pose. Last round, sun B. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step or float back. Keep moving through your own vinyasa. When you arrive in downward dog, inhale your right leg back. Exhale, step it forward, left heel down. Inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Second side, when you're ready, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale it forward, back heel down. Inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Downward dog, in stillness. Rebalance your breath. When you're ready, look forward. On empty breath, walk or float to the top. Feet touching. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale to fold. Knees touching. Inhale, sit back into chair pose. And slowly, as though your back was gliding against a wall, lower your pelvis to sit on the ground. Preparing for boat pose, you might slide your feet forward a bit, but keep them together so your legs are still hugging your midline. Whether you choose to hold the backs of your thighs to help you lift your legs up, or hands on the floor for added support, or no arms for more rigor, or straighten your legs for added rigor. Feel the engagement of lower belly drawing in towards your spine, lifting up towards your heart. That same idea of lifting your pelvic floor when we jump forward from downward dog into a fold. So here we go, relax your shoulders, release tension, consciously where you might do tense because you're concentrating. So tilt back, lift up, take a deep breath. Exhale, 7. Breathe in. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Trusting your will. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Last deep breath up to the crown of the head, sitting tall. Exhale, stay here. And slowly bend your knees, step your feet onto the ground. Let's drop the knees apart for a short Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet to touch, heels close to your pelvis as you hold your feet. Breathe in to lift your spine tall. Relax the shoulders as you exhale to fold forward, perhaps walking the hands forward. One great way to build self-trust, I don't remember where I read this recently, is to follow through on your promises to yourself. Whether that's committing to a full hour of being present in your body, and that's not necessarily perfect full attention the whole hour. It's definitely a practice to realign your attention onto what's here and now and not what we have to do later. Or whether it's truly listening to your body's needs, or committing to core work, as some of you asked for. So inhale, lead with your chest, and slowly rise up. Let's lift the knees and separate the feet hips distance on the ground, spreading the toes. Extend your arms forward straight with your palms turned up. Again, lift your pelvic floor, breathe up through the spine, relax the shoulders down, and then taking several breaths, very slowly lower your back onto the ground. So the core is not only the abdomen, but it includes so many muscles from your neck to your glutes, like your obliques, your transverse abdominis, even up to the chest can be considered the core, like pectorals. And all around your torso, including your back muscles, like the erectus spinae. So the team of your core is what's helped you to lower slowly onto your back. So now, lift your legs up straight, or maybe they're slightly bent if your hamstring needs some support. Pelvis completely on the ground, neck relaxed, shoulders relaxed. And then raise your arms as you interlace your fingers, point your in, flex, or point your feet so it helps the muscles. Take a deep breath in, draw your navel towards your spine. Keep that and exhale, lift your head and shoulders, twisting to your right, hold and breathe. Allow your left forearm to press against your outer right thigh as your index fingers point forward and to the right upper corner of your room. Staying here with your torso, inhale, lower your left leg slowly, just about 2 inches off the floor. Exhale, slowly lift your left leg to meet the right. 4 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Feel the navel draw in towards your spine. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Reach through your index fingers. Feel the lift of your chest. Exhale, lift. Last one. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Lower your head and shoulders, but keep your legs lifted and just unpoint or unflex your feet. Maybe circle at your ankles. Now, as you raise your arms again, maybe try switching the cross of your thumbs on top as you point the index. Feet together. Breath. Draw your navel. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders and twist to your left. Feel the spiraling action of your torso. Breathing here, press your right forearm against your left outer thigh and reach your index towards the upper left corner of your room. Then inhale, slowly lower your right leg forward to hover 2 inches off the floor. Exhale, shift it to match the left. 4 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Keep reaching through your index. Exhale, lift. Last one. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Then bend your knees here and hug them in as you gently rock side to side, adding massage for your lower back as you re-lengthen your breaths equally through your nose. Ujjayi pranayama, a soft constriction at the back of your throat. So that was a little more awakening for the obliques. Let's enter the transverse abdominis of the deep lower belly. Bend your knees to stack right over your hips. Again, legs together like chair pose. Point or flex your feet. Now, see that your knees are not forward closer to your torso than right above your hips. You want 90-degree bend at your knees. Then notice the space between the ground and your lower back. For most of us, there is a space there. Let's engage the lower belly as though you're zippering it in and up towards your heart to shorten that space between ground and lower back without eliminating the space, just shortening it. That can allow some lengthening in the lower spine. If you tend to have compression there, that can feel good. Place your hands on your lap as though you're sitting in a chair. Relax your head and shoulders. And now begin to push your thighs away from your belly through your hands while your thighs resist back into your hands, using counter forces so that the motion is invisible but deeply felt in the lower abdomen. Notice the front ribs sealing inward towards the back of your body. And as we continue here for about 30 more seconds, you might add breath of fire for more core engagement. Closing the lips, short, quick breaths. Each exhale percussions the belly in towards the spine. Relaxing the face, adding warmth in the belly. Last 5 seconds. Take a deep breath. Hold your breath. Think of lifting the pelvic floor. And then open the mouth, let it go. Splay your thighs apart like a frog lying on its back as you turn out your feet and flex them. Breathe in. Draw your tailbone towards the ground. Breathe out. Relax your shoulders on the ground. All right, so now let's get into the back of the core, setting your feet on the ground, hips distance. Bring your arms down by your sides and locate your feet by sliding them back towards your hands until you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips. Just almost, not exactly. Keep your feet parallel, and we're gonna move in and out of bridge, 1 breath each for 5 breaths. Keeping your arms down by your sides, shoulders rooted, and the chin slightly tilted back to open space in the throat the whole time. So here's the idea. When you lift your pelvis into bridge, you'll want to keep your feet still, but imagine as if you're dragging your feet back towards your glutes. That will activate your hamstrings and slightly your glutes, which is what we're aiming for. And as you do that, to open up your hip flexors, you also want to lengthen the front thighs forward, keeping them parallel. Those two contrasting motions might allow a bit more lift of the pelvis and a broadening in the chest. So let's start the first two together. Arms down by your sides, feet and shoulders rooted. Chin back. Inhale, slowly lift all the way up into a full, whatever your full height of bridge is right now. Hamstring is activated, thighs lengthening forward. Your exhale, slowly with control. Each vertebra at a time. Tailbone last. Inhale, when you're ready, slowly lift again. Thighs parallel, feet parallel. Heart lifted, throat open. Slowly articulate each vertebra, kissing the earth one at a time. Try the last three on your own, very slow cycles of breath. Bridge pose. So while the main focus of yoga is self-actualization, not as in the ego, but as in our true nature, that of pure awareness. How do the physical actions fit in, these poses and movements? Well, we live in our bodies, and the distractions within our bodies, often caused by our minds and emotions, like tension or not feeling healthy in some way. Then we allow ourselves our body to fit or what's left. Spirit. Watching the thoughts. When you finish your last round, lower your pelvis and open your arms wide and just gently drop your left knee to the right. Go to the left several times in a gentle moving twist. Breathing in, breathing out, evenly through your nose. And when you feel that you've loosened your lower back efficiently for now, gather your knees into your chest and begin to rock and roll forward and back several times to build momentum in order to rise up to stand at the top of your mat. We'll practice one Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward into Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen into Ardha Uttanasana. Either step to plank or float into Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue on Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Back to downward or Adho Mukha Svanasana. Allow a few breaths there. And as you hold still and steady your gaze, feel your weight distributed evenly through all the knuckles of your palms. As you wrap your triceps towards the earth to broaden across your shoulders, let your head go and feel freedom in your neck while lifting your sitting bones high, firming the front creases of your hips further back as your heels descend towards the mat. Last couple of breaths. On your next inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhaling, bend your right knee and turn open at the hip. Breathing in, tack your left hip further back. As you exhale, lightly step your right foot just inside of your right hand. Warrior One. Spinning your back heel down, keep your hips facing forward and slowly rise into Virabhadrasana 1. Feel the squaring of your two hips as you bend your front knee over the ankle and scissor your right hip back. Left outer heel firming into the earth as you spiral your inner left thigh back. Feel your belly contained, that activation of your transverse abdominis. From here, cactus bend your elbows apart, relaxing your shoulders away from your neck. With steady breathing, cross your right elbow over the left, either hooking your thumbs or wrapping your forearms and palms. Let your shoulders continue to soften as you lift your elbows to the height of them and gently press your forearms away from your face. Shifting more weight into your right foot, begin to turn out your left leg, flexing your left foot as you wrap your left leg over your right, bending your right knee to sit like chair. Scissor your left hip slightly back, and if you're able to, tuck your left toes behind your right calf. Sit a little lower if you can, because that will help with balancing as you also steady your gaze and the sound of your breath. Eagle pose, Garudasana. Wonderful way to cultivate focus. We're going to continue balancing on just the right foot, but if you need to step the left foot next to the right in mountain before the next balancing pose, feel free. Bringing your hands to your hips. Try to keep your hips leveled as you slowly rise and unravel the left leg. Bend the left knee just in front of your left hip, flexing your left foot. With your right hand catching hold of the outside of your left knee, backstroke your left arm to reach towards your rear wall. Keep your two hips facing forward. Feel the earth through the four corners of your right foot. Breathe in, stand tall. Now at your waist, exhale, begin to twist, turning your chest to the left slowly for a few breaths, and maybe even turning your head to gaze back towards your left thumb. Now, if your hamstring is warm enough, you might even straighten your left leg forward, catching hold of the outer foot. In Parita, Uttita Hasta Parangushtasana, revolved hand to big toe pose. Now, as you redirect your gaze forward, bend your left knee and catch hold of your left thigh or shin with two hands. Relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath and then slowly step your left foot way behind you, re-entering Warrior One. Inhale. Exhale, backstroke your arms, lifting your chest. Lower into downward facing dog, or first, Adho Vinyasa, your choice. From downward dog, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, bend the knee and turn open at the hip. Breathe in, tacking your right hip back. Exhale, lightly step your left foot forward just inside your left hand. Lower your right heel, face forward, rise, Warrior One. Now as you bend your left knee just over the ankle, scissor your left hip back. As you straighten your right leg and firm the heel down, spiral your inner right thigh back. Feel a slight lift of your frontal hip bones. Then inhale, cactus, bend your elbows apart, relaxing the shoulder blades down. Exhale, cross the left elbow over the right, hooking your thumbs or wrapping your palms. Elbows to the height of your shoulders, gently press your forearms away from your face. Steady your gaze and the sound of your breath. Shifting your weight onto your left foot. We'll turn out the right leg and flex the foot, wrapping your right leg over the left as you bend your left knee as though sitting in chair. If available, wrap the top of your right foot behind your left calf and further scissor your right hip back. Sit a little lower if you can. Take notice of what arises here internally as we let the body be still for a few breaths. Keeping our weight on the left foot or entering mountain pose with two. Bring your hands to your hips. Unravel your right leg and lift the knee to the height of your right hip, still flexing the right foot, rising to stand on your left leg. Cross your left hand to your outer right knee. Keep your hips leveled and facing forward. Press into the earth as you inhale, rise tall. Exhale, backstroke your right arm, reaching towards your rear wall, and begin to turn your rib cage at your waist, breath by breath. Perhaps you also look behind you at one spot towards your right thumb. Or straighten your right leg forward, catching your outer foot. Revolved, hand to big toe pose. Redirect your gaze forward, rebend your right knee, catch hold of your thigh or shin with two hands. Standing tall, take a deep breath. And slowly step your right foot all the way back to warrior one. Breathe in, backstroke your arms and lift your heart center. Lower into downward dog or flow first through one last vinyasa. Now, practicing an inversion that is heated, meaning not shoulder stand or not lying on your back, but more like downward dog, dolphin pose, headstand, Shirshasana or tripod, handstand with or without a wall or forearm balance, Pincha Mayurasana. Take what's suitable for your body at this point, and we'll practice for 1 minute. Feel free to rest in child's pose as many times as you need. Give yourself a few breaths to rest in Balasana or child's pose. And then, as you're ready, slither forward into Sphinx pose, lying on your belly with legs straight back. Forearms on the floor with elbows slightly in front of each shoulder. Broadening your chest as you continue to soften your shoulders down. Feel your legs actively lengthening back, feet parallel as every toenail presses the ground. Pubic bone rooted, allowing space within your lower back. Then cross your left forearm in front of your chest, keeping your chest lifted and facing forward. Bend your right knee and backstroke your right arm so that your hand catches hold of your inner right ankle or foot, where the big toe side is. Have your knees no wider than your hips width, grounding both of your frontal hip bones. Slowly bring your right heel slightly to the outside of your right hip, still facing your chest forward as you relax both shoulders down. Lengthening your right quadricep, which is one of our largest muscles in our body. 3 more breaths. The end of your exhale, release your right leg straight and return to Sphinx with both forearms. Slide your knees close together and cross your right forearm in front of your chest. Bending your left knee, backstroke your left arm and catch hold of the big toe side. Knees no wider than hips width, ground both frontal hip bones. Slowly bring your left heel slightly to the outside of your left hip. Broaden your chest, slightly lift your sternum. Allow your shoulders to descend. Feel the lengthening of your left quadricep. 3 more breaths. And when you let that go, place your hands alongside your ribs and press up to stand on your knees for 2 rounds of our last active heart opening back bends. Camel pose or Strasana. If your knees need extra cushion, you could fold your mat thicker just on that side. Do grab a block if you have one. And as you stand on your knees, tuck your toes behind you. Use the skinniest width of the block to firmly hug between your thighs. In fact, imagine you're trying to shoot the block behind you by slightly spiraling your inner thighs back. At the same time, draw your tailbone actively towards the ground between your knees. With a slight lift of your frontal hip bones, gently engage your belly. Now place your hands on your lower back with your fingertips face down. Using your hands to both direct your glutes towards the backs of your knees and to keep your pelvis stacked right above your knees, not allowing your pelvis to slide behind your knees. Then as you inhale, lift your back ribs and chest. Exhale, draw your shoulders behind you and down, lifting your chest. With no strain in the lower back, you might explore deepening the pose by walking one hand back to hold one heel and then switching, or perhaps both hands holding the heels. Feel that your pelvis stays stacked above your knees, and the arch of your back is mostly occurring right under your shoulder blades. When you decide, after a few deep breaths, to come out of camel pose, place your hands on your lower back, contract your belly, and slowly restack each vertebra upright. And you might use that block like a stool between your ankles as you sit down for just 3 breaths to rest. We've got 1 more to go, so take rest when you're ready. If you'd like to deepen the posture and feel that it's appropriate to, you could untuck the toes on your last round of camel. Take camel pose on your own, and we'll meet sitting down to rest. 5 to 10 deep breaths. Focusing on lifting your heart. And if you have rested for a while sitting, let's prepare for a seated spinal twist to help neutralize the spine after that. Bring your legs in front of you, straightening your left leg forward. Either step your right foot in front of the hip or outside of your left knee, in which you might also bend your left knee, as long as your 2 hips can be evenly grounded. Backstroke your right hand to the earth behind your pelvis. Raise your left arm. Pressing into the ground, breathe in to sit taller, but relax your shoulders. Then exhale, begin to twist to your right and lower your left hand. You might hook your elbow outside the thigh if it's appropriate to go that far. Each inhale, root into the ground to sit up tall. Using your exhales to perhaps explore deepening the twist. Take another breath. And as you breathe out, unwind your spine and let's go right to the other side. Straightening your right leg. Either step the left foot in front of the hip or outside your right knee, or also bend your right knee. Backstroke your left hand behind your pelvis. Raise your right arm. Ground to lift as you inhale. Exhale to twist. Lower your right hand or hook your elbow outside the thigh. A few more breaths. One more breath here. As you breathe out, unwind. Extending both legs forward, straight with feet hips width apart. Flex your feet here in Dandasana or stick pose. Press the big toe mounds forward as you spread your toes. Slightly spiral your inner thighs towards the earth. Root down to your sitting bones. Lift your torso. Soften in your front ribs as you lift your chest and broaden it. Hands alongside your hips. Feel the rebound of your own weight off the ground and up to your spine. And as you breathe out, begin to fold into Paschimottanasana. 5 more breaths. On an inhale, lead with your chest and slowly rise up, coming all the way down to your back. For just 1 minute, if there's any other last cooling posture or gentle movement you need before Shavasana, feel free to take it. Otherwise, set yourself up right into corpse pose. your body out. Notice which parts may want to move gently first. Easing into simple stretch, perhaps deeper breaths as your eyes remain closed. Take your time. You might choose to draw your knees into your chest and turn over to your right side. In your own way, begin to lift your body upright to sit. Sitting for a moment to just contemplate how you might bring your yoga into the rest of your day. Remembering the 8 limbs of yoga, ultimately to cultivate alignment to our true nature. Let's close with one chant of Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to light in you. Namaste.